the Chicago Bears. Courtney, you're very familiar with him. Ben Johnson said this offseason that he is buying stock and Luther Burden right now. Kind of feels like insider trading a little bit, but he's right. I mean, this guy has an opportunity with DJ Moore gone to step up and get more targets. He had a huge impact late in the season. He was slow to start, but I don't think that learning curve is quite as steep this year because he's adjusted to the league. He had that X factor at Mizzou. I'm ready to see him really bring that to the NFL.
Yeah, his teammates call him a dog, say he's a playmaker out there. Might be a little competition for wide receiver one between him and Rome Odunze. But J-Mac, can the Bears hang on to the top spot in the NFC North?
I believe they can. It's going to be tough. The Minnesota Vikings I'm looking at in a sense of their quarterback play was atrocious last year, and they still won 9 games. So getting whether it's Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy makes a huge improvement. I think that changes that division a little bit. Also, Detroit trying to have a bounce-back year. And then the Green Bay Packers, what are they going to be without Micah Parsons out there? Can they win a game without him? But I feel really good about the Chicago Bears team. A guy like Caleb Williams, his second year in the system, he should understand it a little bit more. Now he's working towards mastering it.
Yeah, DraftKings still has the Bears third in the NFC North, even after winning the NFC North last year. Jordan, year 2 for Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson's system, year 3 overall. What areas do you think he needs to improve upon the most?
Well, everybody's complaining about the completion percentage. Why did it dip from his rookie year to year 1 under Ben Johnson? Well, it's because he went from probably the lowest yards per attempt his rookie year in the NFL to a team that wants to, in a system under Ben Johnson, wants to push the ball downfield. So you expected the completion percentage to dip a little bit. What he's got to start to understand is he doesn't have to be a home run hitter every single time. If Ben Johnson dials up a play that is designed to hit downfield, if the coverage is there, you don't have to force it. You can check the ball down. You can find Luther Burden as a quick outlet, a guy that can make plays after the catch. So he's got to take a little bit of the home run hitter mentality off his shoulders, realize that he doesn't have to put a Superman cape on every single time. You can be efficient in this offense while still being explosive if you make smart decisions.
I just want to peel back the curtain here a little bit. When we were introducing this segment, said 8 days until some teams report. Brooke and I kind of let out a collective groan as NFL reporters. J-Mac over here kind of secretly snickering that he doesn't have to go to camp
Not
anymore. No, your struggle is now our struggle.
I'll show up every now and then. I'll show up to an open practice.
We'll be out there sweating in the heat. No big deal.
Really nice.
All right, coming up next, the king to this. The NCAA sent a letter, official letter of inquiry to the University of Cincinnati to see what they knew about their former quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, and his gambling issues during his 2 seasons with the program. Sorsby is now permanently banned from college football, and Will Hammond is expected to start as the QB for the Red Raiders if he is healthy enough this season. Texas Tech has a relatively easy schedule this year, not facing some of the top teams in the Big 12 like BYU, Utah, and Kansas State. The highlights of their schedule are Week 3 against Houston and October 24th against Cincinnati. So the Red Raiders expected to be led by quarterback Will Hammond, who is replacing Sorsby at the position. I want to keep it on the field here, Jordan. What kind of pressure does Hammond now face?
I think Hammond's got a ton of pressure. Now, he's a really good quarterback. He came in sparing Baron Morton against Utah on the road last year, went 13 to 16, 169 yards, couple touchdowns. So he's a good quarterback. The problem is, I think when you look at the expectations and the schedule, Texas Tech can kind of sleepwalk their way to a Big 12 championship game. But in order to be a college football playoff team, in order to win a Big 12 championship, I think they need elite play at the quarterback position. I think Brendan Sorsby was the guy that, to me, they were a lock for the playoff because of the talent that Sorsby brought. Without him, you don't have David Bailey on defense. You don't have Jacob Rodriguez on defense. You don't have quite the star power on that side of the ball. That puts even more pressure on the quarterback and an offense that laid a goose egg in their biggest moment last year against Oregon. They scored 0 points on that side of the ball because Baron Morton didn't play well. So a ton of pressure on Will Hammond to step in and be and fill the expectations and the shoes that Brendan Sorsby kind of set for this program once he stepped on campus, and now that he's gone, that's all on Hammond.
So Jordan says, Heather, that they can sleepwalk their way to the Big 12 championship game. I saw your reaction. Agree or disagree?
Disagree. I don't know why everyone assumed that Sorsby's the answer. I feel like I'm the only person on the planet who wanted to see him take a snap for Texas Tech before he declared, oh, he's going high in the draft. Oh, he's going to lead them to the college football playoff. Good quarterback? Yeah. High ceiling? Yeah, definitely. But the talent around Texas Tech's quarterback is what's going to make them a college football playoff contender. They reloaded on defense. They hit the transfer portal hard. They've got a veteran offensive line, and they've got 2 running backs, almost 2,000 yards to help take the pressure off of him. And I expect them to run the ball while he gets into it. The key is to keep him healthy, because if he goes down again, you want to know who's behind him? Yeah, so does Texas Tech, because I think all of their names are question mark.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, that's a tough proposition.
I feel like, Heather, I feel like you just made my argument for me, though. I don't think we disagree. Look, they can run the football. They will still be elite on defense, even without the guys that I mentioned, and that will get them far. But that's the thing. When you get to the biggest games in the playoff, what were the teams that started to emerge? The teams with elite quarterback play. The run that Ole Miss had because of Trinidad Chambliss. The run that Miami had because Carson Beck towards the end was playing his best football. Fernando Mendoza obviously won the Heisman. They had great rushing team, great defense. They kind of sleptwalked their way. And then when they needed Fernando, he came up in Heisman moments. That's the pressure, what I'm talking about with Will Hammond. And Sorsby, yes, had a higher ceiling. Sorsby, yes, is going to be a higher draft pick than Will Hammond ever will be, in my opinion. That's why the expectation was set so high and the ceiling was high, because of his talent. Not saying he had proved it yet. I get it. He had to step on the field. But that's the pressure that Hammond faces, those expectations.
Yeah, and the pressure is going to be there because of all the stuff that's been going off the field with Texas Tech. But the Red Raiders, as we know, heavy favorites to win the Big 12, according to ESPN Analytics. 46%. No other team right now has better than 20% odds. And on the other end of this, Colorado has just a 2.5% chance to win their conference. That's 9th in the Big 12. Deion Sanders was at the podium. Take a listen to how he expects his team to perform this season.
What is one area where you expect your team to surprise people this coming up season?
Oh, we better win. That's going to be the surprise. We better win. And we're going to win.
Okay, so I guess winning is a surprise in the eyes of the head coach at Colorado. Jordan, what's one word you would use to summarize Deion's tenure at Colorado so far?
A mirage, right? You're driving down the highway. The road is hot. You feel like you see something. It's a little blurry. It's Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and Deion Sanders. And you're like, wait, that's a program on the rise. That's a program that's going to be competing for national championships. And the closer you get, Travis Hunter disappears, Shedeur Sanders disappears, and what you're left with is a roster and a team that frankly just hasn't been able to have the talent outside of those two guys to compete. And I think Deion kind of missed his timing, because if Deion would have been a head coach pre-NIL, players would have made the decision to come play for him, to be developed by him, to be around him. Now kids are making decisions based on who's paying me the most. Not where do I want to be developed, not who do I want to play for. And everyone would love to play for Deion. He's just not able to accumulate the same type of talent because they're not able to stroke the same kind of checks that everybody else is. So the talent hasn't been there to take this program to the next step, which is what we all thought was going to happen. And that's why I say the mirage, it just hasn't really happened that way.
And the way Deion talked about the 2025 season felt like a dose of humble pie. He said that he made a pretty big mistake at the quarterback position because he had coached his son Shedeur Sanders all of his life, and then having to do it with somebody who was not his own kin was a difficult transition last year. So Heather, when you think about the way that Colorado has attempted to build back up their program, have they done enough, and can they do enough to make a playoff push this season?
Absolutely not. Not only not a playoff push, but not a Big 12 push. I mean, when we go back to our conversation earlier about Texas Tech, this conference race is going to be super exciting because it's not just Texas Tech. It's BYU. Houston could be sneaky good. Arizona could be sneaky good. I mean, there's a lot of teams in the top half that can really challenge Texas Tech for the Big 12 title. Colorado's not one of them. I expect them to be one of the lowest teams in the Big 12. They have a continued question at quarterback. They only returned 55% of their production from last year. That might actually be a good thing. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to talk about Colorado in the college football playoffs.
So two teams we're talking about here, Texas Tech and Colorado, both with quarterback question marks, both with differing odds to go capture that Big 12 title this year. All right, we'll leave this one